Hey Motorcycle.com viewers, Tom Roderick here. We are at a secret testing facility for Polaris Industries in wonderful Wyoming, Minnesota. And behind me is Polaris's newest venture, the Slingshot. Now, we just spent the last couple hours riding around on this thing, you know, off the city streets where we could break a little loose, get some tire burning, check out their new traction control and stability control, but also turn it off and see how it handles without those electronic safety aids in place. It looks like Polaris might have a winner on their hands. They haven't actually released the price. We're shooting this video in advance of this coming out. It should be available to consumers sometime this fall as a 2015 model. We've been told that they're shooting for an initial product intro of under $25,000. Now, they have two models available that we know of, the base model one, and they have the SL. The SL comes with a couple more niceties, you know, backup camera and a few other things that we'll go over here in a second. It's a lot of fun, and we're going to go up a little closer and check it out and show you what it's all about. So if you're a little closer, you might have noticed, you know, no roof on the Slingshot. The interior is weatherproof. From the seats to the instruments to, you know, the gear shifters, just like a motorcycle. You can let it sit outside, and the body panels are kind of a UV proofed, so they are, you know, they don't fade over time. So up here, what's really nice is behind both the driver and the passenger seat is a large storage compartment capable of holding a full-size helmet. So back here we have forged aluminum roll bars. They are capable of holding 5 times the weight of the vehicle, which is approximately 1,700 pounds. You know, so down here in the driver's cockpit, you know, really nice. You're able to adjust this. You've got an adjustable steering column. You have a seat that you can move fore and aft, and then it also reclines back and forth. Instrument cluster, you have an analog speedo, analog tachometer, and then a digital readout over here. You've got the dummy lights for your traction control, ABS, and whatnot. Over here on the right-hand side, this is your stereo with volume controls, preset. You can Bluetooth this to your phone or another Bluetooth device. The windscreen up here actually provides really good wind protection, enough so when you're sitting here with a passenger, you can actually have a pretty social conversation between the two of you, even with full face helmets on. You've got a 5-speed manual gearbox over here. Nice thing, very sporty, very short throws between the gears. First through third are pretty tight. They're going to get you going, spinning the rear wheel. Fourth and fifth, a little bit taller, you know, a little bit better freeway MPGs. Kind of the same thing with the clutch, really light throw on the clutch, not a long throw either. Great engagement. What we found out today driving this vehicle is that even with the stability package in operation, it allows you to even get, you know, up to a third gear chirp on the gears going in a straight line. And then if you want to get some, you know, you've got a kind of a closed course area like we have here, and you want to get a little silly, you can hear tires screeching, you can, you know, tire smoke, you can smell it coming off of the rear. So it keeps things relatively safe, but it still allows you to have a lot of fun, even with the safety package in control. The great thing is it has this little button right down here, and you can turn that off. So that's going to be important to a lot of people once you get out and you want to have a little bit of extra fun. Here we have a 2.4 liter GM EcoTech engine that Polaris is telling me puts out about 173 horsepower at the crank and 166 foot-pounds of torque. So at the back end of the roadster, you've got this beautiful single-sided swing arm. Now, this brings up some of the other differences between this SL model and the standard model. The SL has 18-inch wheels up front and a 20-inch on the back, whereas the standard has 17-inch wheels up front and an 18 rear on the back.
We're really proud of what we've been able to accomplish with making mass centralization a priority, a low-weight construction. We've got a high-strength, low-alloy, tubular steel space frame with lots of triangles on it that's very efficient and very rigid. And we've got really good packaging. We don't have a lot of front overhang. We've got mass in the center. If you look at where the engine is packaged and the transmission, it's right at the center of gravity of the vehicle. What that means is with our wide, low stance and relatively short wheelbase, you've got a very controllable vehicle that responds very quickly. It doesn't care about what you did 50 feet ago. It's all about, hey, how much traction do we have right now? And as you could feel out on the VDA here, you can have a lot of fun with the stability control on, and it'll help you maintain control without losing the fun factor. The system actually measures all 3 wheel speeds 40 times a second and responds appropriately. But it won't intervene if you're just having fun. It's only when you've overcooked a corner and is starting to see some oversteer that it'll intervene, and that keeps you pointed in the direction that you want to go. We've got electronic throttle control integrated into our engine, so it'll pull power, it'll put the brakes on, it'll do full ABS, it'll even do dynamic brake proportioning, so if you've got slip at one end versus the other, it'll move brake pressure from one end to the other to keep everything balanced and keep you stopping in a straight line. Well, the front end's the one that steers, and it does it very well. We've got unequal forged aluminum, unequal length control arms with forged aluminum knuckles. They're very rigid and also very lightweight, so we've got low unsprung weight. And then one of the real important things we added to the Slingshot was a very, very stiff front anti-roll bar here. This keeps you cornering flat, so that feeling of, say, old Buicks, when you're going around a corner you feel like you're going to fall out the window, you don't get that with Slingshot because you stay very, very flat and planted. And that's the secret to keeping the rear wheel keeping its grip, because the rear wheel rotates with the vehicle.
So this is pretty cool with this, stripped away model that they have out here for us to check out. You can see from here, the bottom of the frame rail to the street is only about 5 inches, and then you can see right here, the bottom of the seat is only another, 4 inches above that. So yeah, really low ground clearance. You can also see back here at the transmission, you're sitting actually above the drive shaft. James, what can you tell me about, from our kind of big honking exhaust guy up here all the way back?
Well, what we've got here is a 5-speed manual transmission with a short throw shifter. It's driving a drive shaft back to our right angle drive here, which has got bevel gears in it, and that drives a carbon fiber reinforced belt. So we've actually managed to package shaft drive and belt drive on the same motorcycle. We're pretty proud of that. It works very well. It's a stiff system. It enhances control. There's not a lot of driveline lash, so when you put your foot down, you feel it immediately, and it works really well.
Well, that's it for my day here in Wyoming, Minnesota with the Polaris Slingshot. As soon as we can get one of these babies in our position for a little bit more thorough testing, we will, and we'll bring it to you on Motorcycle.com.